I tell you, T's and P's, thoughts and prayers to the community of Waukesha, definitely. And just, with yesterday being Thanksgiving, it's just kind of, it makes you think and have an appreciation and affinity for where you are. So, I'm thankful to this team, to Matt, to the support staff, whether it's equipment, catering, the weight room, the whole shebang. Appreciative for you guys too. So having said all that, ask me about the field goal operation.
Well, you thought it was getting better after that 54-yarder, right? I mean, that's the way it should look. So what happened with
It definitely made you feel better with the 54-yarder, but this thought that we are a finished product, I don't have that thought. Constantly, consistently, we have to continue to work at what we're doing. I know the guys are working at it. We are working at it. No one feels worse than those three individuals who it directly affects, meaning the snapper, holder, and kicker. And I can tell you and assure you that we are fighting hard to get on the same page, to have that operation down pat like a fine, well-oiled machine.
Why isn't it in a better place at week 12?
Well, it's no different than having an off season together. What do quarterbacks and receivers do? They have routes versus air. They're working out their timing, getting things together. So now we're talking about taking a skill set that is a little more specific and detailed and skill oriented, and we're cramming it in a short period of time. So it just takes that time of building that rhythm and getting this together. So, like I said, we are going to continue to get at it. Had a really good week of preparation. I had a really good week of preparation last week. But at the end of the day, it's just inches. If that ball is just 3 inches to our right, it goes in, and nobody really says anything, even though I saw what happened between the snapper, holder, and kicker, and I still have to coach that. But everybody sees this. Okay, so even on these, all right, there are some things that we're coaching up, and we're trying to get this thing fine-tuned the best we can.
Mo, somebody must have inadvertently left the door open of the Hudson Center yesterday at practice. So I'm walking by to go watch the defense, and there you guys are in the corner, you and Mason, and obviously Corey and Steven. So I'm not saying that it's impossible to overwork it, but you guys are obviously working on it constantly. So what is your process like? Like, you don't want to turn it into a psychological thing or burn them out, but how are you kind of finding the sweet spot of getting them the right level?
No, you're absolutely correct, and that's a great question. We're definitely not overworking it. If anything, I have to pull them back because they want to be so successful and they want to get it right, not only for themselves but for their teammates, for the community, for the team. So it is a balancing act. But with Mason having the years he's had in the program, with him having to break in previous years, younger snappers and holders, and with my experience with Luke Rhodes in Indianapolis, who was a linebacker who turned snapper, Rigoberto Sanchez, who's their punter, he had never held before, and we broke him into holding. But once again, utilizing all the history that we have, Mason and myself, as well as Coach Renee and Coach Connor, and just finding that happy medium of working it, but at the same time keeping it light so that it's not overwhelming and stressful.
Well, when you're obviously working on all that, how concerned are you when you see a punt snap like Steven had in Minnesota? That was obviously close to.
Oh yeah. Well, you're very concerned. I tell you what. Who was it? I think I heard an interview here recently. I think it was Coach Zimmer who said he doesn't like Sundays. Like, it's fun for everybody else, but it's not fun for him. I'm not to that point yet, but yeah, I am concerned. But once again, you have to immediately dissect what happened, get to the sideline, and try to get it corrected on the sideline immediately.
So how's Mason holding up through all this? I'm not comparing him to any of us because he's obviously a pro and all that. But if it was me, and I'd gone through some bad snaps and some bad holds and some bad protection, I'd be going up there and saying, what the hell is going to happen this time?
Well, Mason is a consummate professional, and he internalizes or he starts everything with himself, and then he works outward. I tell you what, I am thankful for Mason. I'm glad he's here. There has been no thoughts, if anybody was going to ask the question, of a change at that position. Mason understands the wins of Lambeau. He understands the wins of when we're in Chicago. Like, he gets things that it would take a new person time to figure out. So we're just going to stick by our process and keep rocking and rolling.
So, well, you were here in 18 though, right? I'm not crazy, right?
Yes.
So you were here for breaking in Hunter and JK. Did they pick it up? That wasn't a great statistical season for Mason either, I guess. Are there a lot of parallels between?
There are similar parallels, and Mason and I have actually reached back to 18 to try to, hone in on the things that were good during that time and learn from the things that wasn't so good. But yes, you are exactly right. In 18, coaching up and raising, Mason calls them his sons, raising Hunter and JK. And you got to think, too, we had an off season with those guys and summer as well. Now, that's definitely not an excuse. And I tell my children this all the time. Excuses are tools of the incompetent, used to build bridges that lead to nowhere. Those who deal in excuses build monuments dedicated to nothing. Therefore, we're not going to deal in excuses. So that's not an excuse. That is the facts. That's the factual answer of what we're going through at this time.
So that's how you end up with such a stud gymnast in your family.
Yes.
I'm gonna start stealing some of that.
Yes.
So what's the challenge this week, Mr. Rams?
Ooh, we got a big challenge this week. Joe D. Camillus. He's been in the league roughly 33 years. He didn't play college football. He was actually an All-American wrestler. The reason why I know that, my brother and I, we both wrestled in college as well. My brother's an NCAA qualifier. I respect the wrestler in him, and he brings that mindset of dissecting human beings. Basically, when you're wrestling, he brings it to the football field. Extensive fake background in all phases, on kickoff return, on punts. He thinks outside of the box, and I tell you, it's a big challenge going against him. He challenges you in ways schematically to try to take advantage of you, and we have to be on top of our game, coaching-wise, as well as our players. They have to be able to adapt to some things on the field as well.
Well, do you think Amari's taken some steps here in the last couple of weeks, and what would it mean to you guys? I know the most important thing is not, catching the ball and being secure. But what would breaking one do for you guys, given all the other focus we're given to other aspects of the special teams?
Well, breaking one, that would be awesome. I mean, from your lips to God's ears, I hope it happens. It would mean the world. But Amari is getting better. Once again, rookie returners, I tell you, at any time they can go haywire. And the reason and the way we prevent that from happening is staying grounded, repeating and getting back to the bases as much as possible in the things that we're asking him to do, so that it becomes innate and he does not have to think about it as he gets older in this thing. But he is getting better, and just building that confidence and that swag that these young guys talk about, instilling that in him so we can make better decisions, for instance, in the pooch zone, and save ourselves some yardage there. So.
How different is the action of returning a kick compared to returning a punt?
Ooh, big difference. Yes, big difference. One is the trajectory of the ball and the way it comes back down to the earth. The rotation of the ball is totally different. And I tell you, punts in the National Football League, these punters now are so good, especially the one we're going to face. Hecker, he's one of the best in the league, and he has the unique ability of matching his distance with hang repeatedly. It will be hard to get returns this week, but at the same time, while it's hard to get return yardage, you have to respect the fact that Joe D is known for some of his fakes and formations. So we have a big challenge this week, and it is a big difference. So you just can't take a kick returner and make him a punt returner. Totally different.